This is Charles Thompson, and I'm with Correct My Credit, Please. Today's topic is a low credit score costing you money or a job? Correct your credit report. Our mission is to revitalize the economy by educating American consumers about the devastating financial effect of bad credit and high interest rates. Our service works with consumers to dispute collections with debt collectors and any inaccuracies on their credit reports with the three major credit reporting agencies to help them obtain an error-proof credit report. The company overview: we have a state-of-the-art processing center and experienced staff, which enables us to provide you with the most efficient credit education in the industry. How credit affects you: the interest rates you pay on credit cards and loans, your ability to get a checking account, rates on your auto, health, and life insurance, employment, and utility bills such as your electric, water, and gas, and maybe even your cable. So when you think in terms of your auto insurance, and because of maybe some blemishes that you've got on your credit, could cause you to pay a little bit more than what you normally would have to. I mean, when you start looking in various areas that are credit related, you'll see where there's extra money that's being paid in those areas. Okay, that's the areas that you definitely want to tighten up on. Three major credit reporting agencies are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So what are the credit reporting agencies' functions? Well, for starters, they are to collect and maintain information about consumers' credit history. This information is obtained to them from banks, credit card companies, various financial institutions, and third-party reporting agencies. The CRA sell this information to lenders and other creditors. This is how sometimes we'll get those pre-approved offers for credit cards or different, like maybe loans from particular lenders, financial lenders. You know, this is how that information, how they get that information. They're able to send you that offer. And the CRAs are not part of the government. So if you hear anybody use the term credit bureau, that is they're not part of the government. It's just a name that they gave themselves for power, but they are actually credit reporting agencies. I never call them credit bureaus. I always try to use the terminology of credit reporting agencies, and I share it along with everyone I have a conversation with when we're talking about credit. Don't want to give them any more power than what they currently have. Are credit reports accurate? Well, nearly 80% of all consumer credit reports have significant errors, 25% of which are serious enough to potentially result in a credit denial. Now, if you think about the 300 and something million consumers, I should say adult consumers that we have here in the United States, and you're figuring 25%, you know, it turned out that is a large number, and something needs to be done about it. But the government, the consumer credit reporting agencies, those entities are not going to do anything. Okay, it is up to you and I, the American consumer, to make sure that we have the most accurate credit report. So, and that is to look into those errors and see what we have and what we can do. Now it says how do these errors occur? Well, loans, payment data, or credit card information is applied to the wrong account. That could be one way. When filling out credit applications with different names, such as Bill Smith versus William Smith, okay, that could pose a problem. Your social security number was entered incorrectly on the application. A clerical error was made when the lender transferred the data from the application. And then this is the biggie: lack of verification by the CRA. Sometimes they get information from a data furnisher, which is a creditor or debt collector, and they never verify that information. Okay, and that is grounds for the item being removed or updated. Who regulates the credit reporting agencies? Well, there's a federal law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and it's designed to promote the accuracy of the information in consumer credit reports. The Federal Trade Commission, or we know it better as the FTC, is the government agency responsible for enforcing the FCRA. So let's talk a little bit about the FCRA, or the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Um, the Fair Credit Reporting Act is a United States federal law that regulates the collection, dissemination, and use of consumer information, including consumer credit information. Along with the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, it forms the base of consumer credit rights in the United States. It was originally passed in 1970 and is enforced by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission and private litigants. This act pertains to consumer or the credit reporting agencies, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and then there's a fourth one that's not really talked about a lot called Innovus. Then we've got nationwide specialty consumer reporting agencies. Medical records and payments are done through one entity called Medical Information Bureau. And we've got criminal background checks. One of the entities is Checkpoint. Residential or tenant history is done through Tenant Data Services. Check writing history is done through Check Systems and Telecheck. Those are the two biggies in the U.S. Uh, they all have to follow by the Fair Credit Reporting Act to make sure that information is accurate. Your creditors and your debt collectors are another entity that have to follow the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Employers as well, anytime they are going to pull your credit, they have to first of all notify you that they're going to pull your credit, and then there's a permission form, an authorization form that has to be signed, and that you have to sign and return to them to give them the permission to pull your credit. And without that, that could pose some problems. And then there are other regulated companies like LexisNexis, Westlaw, ChoicePoint, and eFunds. Now, LexisNexis, this company basically gets the scours the public record, or the courts, and get information like tax liens, judgments, bankruptcies, okay, and they supply that information for a fee to the credit reporting agencies, and that's how they make their money. But they all have to follow by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. All right, credit scores. Understand how your credit scores are calculated. So what are credit scores? It's a method that uses statistical models to evaluate your credit worthiness. It reflects reflective of a borrower's past payment history, outstanding credit balances, and available credit capacity at a given point in time. Creditors use these scores, known as FICO scores, when deciding whether or not to offer credit to consumers. FICO scores range from 300 to 850 points. Now, other names for credit scores: Equifax calls it a beacon, Experian, Fair Isaac, and TransUnion Empirical. Now, how credit scores are used. Between 650 or higher indicates a very good credit profile. People falling in this range will usually be able to obtain credit quickly and at a good interest rate. 620 to 650, this range, which most credit scores fall. So in other words, the majority of the consumers, they fall in that range. However, these consumers may find that potential creditors could require additional documentation for larger loans, and the loan process may take longer as a result. 620 or less may mean higher interest rates for borrowers. This does not mean that the credit will be denied. The process will probably take longer and will be on less than ideal terms. Okay, so in other words, you're going to pay a lot more. Let's take a look at this table here. It says the following table is based on a $100,000 30-year fixed rate mortgage. These are more up-to-date interest rates for now, and so they are subject to change. But if you had between a 620 and a 639 as a credit score, and you would qualify for a home, generally you're coming in. Now, this is not anything that's written in stone, but just speculative. You may be coming in at about a 5.174% loan. Now, on $100,000, you're paying, $1,095 a month. Okay. Now, when you look at your total that you would pay over a 30-year period, it's almost double the price of the house. So now, if you go up a little bit and you say, well, hey, if you only increased it by 20 plus points and you fell between the range of 660, 679, you can qualify for almost 1% less, which would be 4.198%. Now, that bears a note of $978, which over a 30-year period, you have paid into the system $152,000. That's almost about a $42,000 savings right there, and about $100 a month difference. So you tend to think that if you had an extra $100 a month, what could you do with it? I mean, that could go toward, your family entertainment. That could go toward investing, or securing your financial future for when you start getting into your retirement stages. Okay, so all things to be considered. What makes up your credit score? Well, there are 5 key components to your credit score. Your buying and bill paying habits amount to about 35%. The amount of credit you owe versus your available credit is 30%. The length of your credit history, 15%. The types of credit used, your credit mix at 10%, and new credit that you're applying for, another 10%. Now, as far as like your payment history, I should say, I'm sorry, the amount that you owed, is great that if you've got any revolving accounts, that you keep your balances at about maybe 30% of whatever the credit line is. So in other words, if you've got a credit card for $1,000, you want to make sure that you try to keep your balance at any given time in a month, okay, right around 300, maybe 350. You don't really want to go there, because as you start going higher and higher and higher, that starts to negatively impact your credit score. I had a client that I was looking at a credit report a few months ago. She only had like one maybe negative item that was on a credit report, and it was kind of old, but all of the credit cards that she had were kind of, had high balances on it. And that kept her from being able to get a piece of investment property, because I think they were looking for it to be like 7 something, 720. And so because of the high balances on the cards, I think she had like right at about a 700 for a credit score. So she had to get those balances paid down. Then it took a couple of months before it made the adjustment, and then she was eventually able to go ahead and take care of the transaction she was looking for. So make sure you keep your balances down below 30%. And when it comes to like new credit, you don't want to apply for every credit card or your credit card offer that gets thrown at you, because that will hurt your credit score as well. So what's not included in your credit score? Well, your race, your color, your religion, your national origin, your sex and marital status. Okay, all those things are not included, thank goodness. Your age, your salary, occupation, title, employer, date employed or employment history, where you live, and interest rate being charged on a particular credit card or other account. Any items reported as child or family support obligations or rental agreements, certain types of inquiries, examples, requests for your credit report, and whether or not you are participating in a credit counseling of any kind. Those do not make up the factors of your credit score. Let's take a look at credit reporting errors. Now, credit reporting errors cost American consumers, billions of dollars and numerous credit denials. Now, these are your common credit reporting errors: collections, bankruptcies, charge-offs, late payments, repos, judgments, tax liens, foreclosures, and identity theft. So what does our service do? Well, we go in and we dispute all of the inaccuracies, the erroneous and obsolete information reporting in your credit file. Now, some features of the service is that we do 3 dispute rounds with the credit reporting agencies. You're on 150 days, or you get 150 days worth of support. You'll receive regular updates from the credit reporting agencies on the progress of your investigation, reflecting any deletions, any additions, or alterations. You're also going to get dispute responses from collection agencies if you happen to have any collections on your file. Customer support. Our customer support is available to service your needs and answer questions Monday through Friday via email, phone, or text. and I'll have that information for you a few slides ahead. 24/7, 365-day online credit process progress tracking access. Okay, you will get a link with a password to actually see anytime you want, 24/7, 365, the status of your process, okay, or your progress, evaluation and access to our credit builder platform. Now, one of the keys as you're working and you're improving your credit is that you've got to get some credit established, or maybe even some new credit established if you don't have any current credit established. Well, we've put together a wonderful platform, and this platform will get you access to secured and unsecured credit cards, as well as jewelry and catalog accounts. Our enrollment process is basically an enrollment agreement with payment and the submission of your Social Security and address verification. Now, the acceptable ID address verification types are a copy of your driver's license, a state ID with the current address, copy of a utility bill or other bill in your name, a copy of your Social Security card or health insurance card showing the Social Security number, and a copy of your W-2 tax form or paycheck stub showing all 9 digits of the Social Security number. All right, we've got a revised client enrollment and referral program. So let's take a look at the customer rewards program. When you sign up as a brand new customer, you're going to receive a voucher that's going to grant you a 3-day, 2-night vacation, or really a hotel stay, which is great. It's got, probably about 50 destinations on it that you can choose from. Okay, the only thing that you're going to end up paying on it is just some minor room taxes. Okay, and of course your transportation to that destination. Now, as far as referrals, you refer a friend and you're going to receive up to $500 in restaurant coupons of your choice. Now, you can earn your way up to using multiple referrals. Okay, so you kind of want to go ahead and tell everybody that you know about this wonderful service, and that we can definitely help them out, because the more that you turn in, okay, you're going to move from getting the restaurant coupons to a 3-day, 2-night stay, or you can get an 8-day, 7-night resort stay. Now, as far as the terms, they are subject to change with this. We have no control of the offers. Okay, and each offer, once you get your coupon, is going to have the specifications on the back. Other solutions that we offer: check systems help. Okay, if you can't get a checking account, if you've had some past checks that have bounced, you can't open up a checking account, this check systems program is probably what you need to get you back on track. Collections and resolutions. If you've getting a letter from debt collector, but you know that everything else is good on your credit report, but you just need to deal with that debt collector. We've got a program that can help you as far as resolving that debt. We don't really encourage that you pay off a collection, because it does hurt your credit score. And when you understand the way of how collections arise, okay, it's kind of some money that you're going to be throwing away because you're not paying the proper party that you're supposed to. We can talk a little bit about that, in a phone call. But if you have a collection, it's up to you. We can formulate a letter for you where you could, it's a settlement letter. You can come up with a certain amount. We can pay this thing off, and in the letter it has some stipulations for them to remove it off the credit report if they accept your offer. We definitely got a way that we can do it, so you've got a choice to pay it or not. As far as like the credit building or credit rebuilding program that's done through our platform, submit a copy of your credit report. We'll take a look. We'll advise you as far as the things that you're going to need to do, steps you're going to need to make to go ahead and start rebuilding your credit if you have no blemishes on there. Okay. As far as identity theft protection, that's a program that we have through a third party, where they will monitor your credit reports, your spouse, and your kids. Okay, which is great. And identity theft has been like the number one reported issue with the Federal Trade Commission for the last 15, 16 years. Okay, so you want to protect yourself. There's so much that's going on. We live in a very high-tech society, and you just, you don't want to be part of that as far as the on the bad end of things. Okay, now as far as judgments, tax liens, and IRS solutions, we take those on a case-by-case basis. Give us a call. We can kind of fill you in if you've got, judgment on your credit report and you take a look at a tax lien. If you're dealing with some issues with the IRS, give us a call. Let us see what we can do for you. And as far as lawsuit relief, if you get a summons in the mail, debt collector suing you, or the attorney is bringing you into court, you need to give us a call on this ASAP. Okay, because this could cost you a lot of money and another blemish on your credit report. And as far as like violations help, we've got some additional webinars that pretty much cover these four topics. But debt collectors make a lot of mistakes when they're calling. When they're trying to collect from you, the phone calls, the reporting activity, maybe some of the threats. You could possibly turn the table on those guys, and instead of you having to pay them, they pay you. So get the good credit you deserve, and you can contact us. My name is Charles. You can reach me at 404-437-5902. Once again, 404-437-5902. Monday through Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Fridays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. Or you can reach me by email at improvemycredit@ymail.com. Once again, improvemycredit@ymail.com. So if a low score is costing you money or a job, correct your credit report today. Give us a call. At this point, we're going to open up for Q&A, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, there should be some links on how to contact us. Go ahead and do so. But as far as the Q&A, that is about to get started right now.